So you got out macroed, basically. So we got to clean that up a little bit. You're doing a fine job of the macro up until we kind of found ourselves at layer tech, and then you had all this income and you just weren't really keeping up with it. And I think one thing that you do, and I've noticed this in other sessions as well, is you get in these situations where you're like, okay, here I am, what is he doing? And then you wait, and you're like, okay, he's got some roaches, he's got a couple spine crawlers, what do I really need? I really feel like I can almost see your thought process, because you have the larva there stacking up, but you're just waiting to decide what to do with it. And you really can't do that. You have to kind of, your larva is a resource like the minerals in the gas, and you have to treat it as such. Good macro means spending whatever. And good macro means spending, whatever. Spending your resources. That means spending your minerals, spending your gas, and also spending your larva. So I have no idea what the hell Whiplash is talking about. But anyways, shall we jump in with another one? And we'll try to do all the same stuff in the early stages of the game, but we have to clean up the macro in the later stages.
Okay.
All right. I don't know when Marta started using rocket-powered trains. Man, those things have been so loud today.
Yeah, it did seem a little louder than usual.
It really seems like a jet engine as it screams by. So why the hell aren't you watching the Super Bowl? What's up with that?
Because my TV tuner and my computer is shitty.
That's no fun.
I've had it for multiple years, and I decided to hook it up recently, and then it turns out that it's a Hoppage 150 PVR or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good 5-6 years old, and I guess it just flat out doesn't work if your computer has 4 gigs of RAM or more.
That sounds pretty stupid.
Yep. That only took like 6 or 7 hours to figure out, but
Yeah, for real. I'd still be working on that one.
anyway. No, I just, since you get broadband and YouTube, you don't have to watch the Super Bowl anymore to see the commercials.
There you go.
And I'm a steel overlord, so I have to extract her.
Yep, that's okay. That's only a 30 mineral loss or so. Not going to kill you. Now again, that last game, there was lots of good there, especially in the early parts. You did a good job of expanding, of establishing your kind of map control, and you definitely had map control, and I hope it felt like it. But the mid-game macros got to be better. Now, one thing about ZvZ, and I don't think this has been said enough anywhere, you want a macro hatchery in this matchup. The money piles up. It's just part of it. Once you have that expansion down, once you're saturated on 2 bases, you need a third hatch. And it can be at an expansion if you want. And it can certainly be there if it's safe to put it there. But it doesn't have to be there. You have to have the third hatch. The third hatch doesn't have to be an expansion. So make sure this game that we get that. That will help a lot in just giving us a little bit extra larva to spin stuff on. And it also gives us a place for our queens to dump extra energy, which can be very important as well. Especially if we don't have perfect injections, which I know I don't. And Little Bird told me you don't either. You're about to miss an overlord?
I was waiting on the larva. Alright, so maybe cross position?
Maybe. I would say one thing that you can kind of look for, when your overlords cross paths in the middle of the map, like the ones, Yes, exactly. If you see it, he's kind of coming through the gold with that Overlord. Like, if he sends an Overlord from his hatchery to your base, it's not going to pass through that gold base, is it?
Oh no, not if we're.
Right.
But I sent my Overlord out like wicked late, so
yeah.
I didn't know if he had a chance to. I don't know. Anyway.
The angles that things come from can be as much of an indicator as the things themselves. So you should know exactly where he is right now, just based on that alone. So you have these lings out, and you're not doing anything with them at all, which makes me very sad. Stay on top of those injections. You're about to need an Overlord. And by about to, I mean you are supply capped.
So since I frequent this position, do I just let the minerals pile up and the Overlord come out, or do I just put something down?
Just put something down.
Just spin the larva anyway.
Yeah, just make stuff, make anything. It doesn't matter. Like, if he's attacking you right now with, like, okay, maybe he's masked up hidden massive Zergling. If he's done that, then, you know, hats off to him. He tricked you with some cheese. But you gotta spend your money. You know, if you want to go straight to roach, that's fine. That's a fine way to do it. Remember what we said, though. We got to have 2 gas to sustain roach production, and we want an evo chamber as well if we're going to make roaches. I love that you're making drones, but I do not love how passive you're being about scouting. Yeah, it's okay. Just shoo that queen away. Well done, sir. So what could he be up to right now?
Well, I didn't see any roaches, so possibly mutas.
I think that's a pretty smart guess. So how can you prepare for
So I
that?
can pop out an extra queen or 2 with the extra minerals, and build the evo chamber that I forgot, and I got people back on gas.
Yeah, and we've talked previously about, you know, what happens in these in these muta situations. And I'm not saying that it is. I'm also not saying that it isn't. But you're seeing, are you seeing any army from him at all?
Other than these Zergling guys here.
That should be a pretty serious tell. There's a reason he doesn't have an army. He's spending that money on some sort of crazy tech, right?
Yeah, mutas it looks like.
Yep, that's oh, you see it now. So there you go. So we've talked about this before. You know, I would definitely get a spore crawler or 2 in each mineral line, and definitely start your layer, and definitely move up and start taking more gas. But you need to be droning really heavily. You have an idle drone in your natural. I don't think that rally points are set for your natural hatchery at all.
Oh, they're not. Thank you.
But the thing here is, you know, we've said before, hey, if he goes muta, just go kill him. And obviously, you're not in a situation where you can do that because you haven't been making an army of your own. But he doesn't have a ground army, so as long as you have enough stuff to deal with the mutas, you can just drone and you'll be fine, right? At least in theory. So use transfuse. Try to fight in range of the spore because that would help your cause quite a bit.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Notice how he runs away immediately. Spore crawlers are actually the most terrifying thing in the world for mutas.
Oh, effing overlords.
Effing overlords. You're going to lose a couple of them here, but don't freak out about it. Make as many drones as you can. And you have to ask yourself the same thing that we've talked about already quite a bit. What is the natural next step? For him, I mean, not for you.
Oh. I don't know, actually, after Hydrus. I mean, depending on what he would do, it would be depending on what I would do.
What would you do if you had gone muta? And
if I'd gone muta,
you're
either
in his position right now, what would you be doing?
Shit ton of Zerglings?
Sure. Yeah, why not? Any other possibilities?
I don't know.
Okay. So Zerglings is something that you might have to deal with. So what does good against Zerglings?
Oh, bandits.
Well, no, not even that. You have roaches already. Just get your +1. these mutas aren't really doing anything. Does that look like he's been adding to those muta numbers?
Right, no.
Not at all. Just keep injecting.
But now he has map control.
He does?
And I have a shit ton of larvae.
He sure does. You have a lot of larvae because you've just been kind of letting it pile up. You haven't really made overlords. You've got 3 about to pop. So spend them on something. You could. I would probably. How many drones do you have? You have 36 drones. This is not bad. I'd probably spend that larva on roaches, if I were you. And you're making.
As much as I had gas, I
yeah,
did
that's
roaches
great.
in the things.
So you're supply capped again. So nothing wrong with that. I'd throw down a second Evo maybe. I think you're very, very even right now, to be completely honest. And I'm looking at this from, everybody cam. I can see everything. It's very close to me. The one thing that he has that he can say that you can't say is that he's macroing very well. Now he has map control. What does that mean for him?
That he can expand all over the effing place and not have to worry about me messing with it.
Okay, so what should that mean for you?
Try to stop him from expanding and also take my third.
So good at this game. So you just ran under some mutas. Why would they be right there? Well, that's why. Because you're protecting that expansion. And now you see the rest of the story. He's taking right up to Roach behind it. So, you're taking a third. You have no way of defending this third, though. So you need to be taking. There you go. There's a Hydra Den. You have 2 options when your opponent goes for mutas like this. You can go for Hydras like you have, and that is a very defensive option. Hydras are not something that he can engage with mutas, especially when he has so few mutas.
I've been actually trying to go infestor play against mutas.
And that is option 2. Go ahead.
Because if you can get a couple of fungals, you can just wreck them pretty good.
Absolutely. I would love it if you would mine from your 4th gas. And he's actually spotted this this expo. I wouldn't cancel it right away. I think you've got time to make a couple hydras and just deal with it. You can also just march some queens up there. Yeah, and that thought with the lings that you had for a second, that's not a bad thought either. Just make sure that you kind of babysit them. You don't want to lose them if you don't have to. So are you making hydras? You have 2. I would start marching queens over there, man. Because, I mean, like, you have time, but you don't have all the time in the world.
I don't think I have time.
Alright, well then cancel it. You can't. Oh. So it's up. There it is.
Oh.
Go queens, go hydras. And you can transfuse that hatchery if you get close enough. And even if you lose it, it's not going to be the end of the world. Just put it right back down. Transfuse, transfuse, transfuse. Okay, you're buying time. Oh, shit. Alright. So that could have gone better. You know, I think the problem was we just wasted a little too much time in responding, and now he's got roaches here as well. You've got more than enough stuff to deal with that aspect of his army. But you got to bring it. There you go. I love the burrow. So kill those roaches. There you go. And macro is starting to be a little bit of a problem. We got to fix that. Now I will say in this time he has added quite a few drones. His economy is definitely booming, and you're about to lose some roaches for no reason.
I don't know what the hell are they doing over there?
Now, the burrow was cute, but I don't know if it's going to save you this time.
Usually I do tunneling claws right behind it. Probably shouldn't have made that round of drones, but I feel like I'm just...
maybe not. Maybe that round of drones was a mistake, but at the same time, if you don't make those round of drones, you're probably dead anyway. Because he's droned up a lot. So...
And I feel like expanding my creep out, ZvZ expanding my creep outside of its own, outside of my kind of area, all it does is hurt me.
Well, it does kind of provide some map hacks. Is the benefit there? Vision is pretty good to have. And I'm sad for you right now. Oh, there it is. Surely you caught that.
Pardon?
So surely you caught that.
I did not.